Hey, it's Andrew Downs. I'm proud to support Three Beards Media, and I would love to work with you. If you need merchandise for your company, organization, band, softball team, whatever, I can help. From name brand apparel to promotional items, large orders or small, online stores, and more, I can help your brand stand out. AKC Marketing is local, based in Johnston, and we are an employee-owned business, so our costs are low and our turnaround times are fast. But most importantly, we give you personal service to make sure you get exactly what you're looking for. Email me at andrew@akcmarketing.com or find me on social media and let's make some cool stuff together. Now sit back and enjoy this Three Beards Media podcast.
Red and gold on the edge of the sky, feel the rumble, hear the battle cry. Out in Ames where the storms ignite, we don't back down, we rise and fight. Jack Trice's name, yeah, it echoes strong. A story of honor still marches on. Through the rain, through the pain, through the fire we roar. 'Cause we were built to thrive in the eye of the storm. Feel the ground shake, hear the crowd roar. Cyclone power, can't take no more. Legends rise, this is our norm. We stand tall in the sigh of the storm. There's a cyclone blowing on the outskirts tonight. Jack Trice shakes when the team takes flight. Milton's rocking, hear the magical. We rise together, we'll never fall. Feel the magic you can't deny. Marcus Stars are taking off straight to the sky. Brent, big play, Kirby making history. When the moment gets tough, that's a cyclone wave. Through the trenches, through the lane, through the heat, through the rain. When the storm comes blowing, we embrace the fight. 'Cause the cyclones strike when the time is right. Feel the cyclones strike when the time is right.
All right, welcome back to In the Side of the Storm, where we talk all things Cyclones. We are live from the AKC Marketing Studio with Andrew Downs and sponsored by Revelton Distilling Company out of Osceola, Iowa, and Dan Douglas with Green Beret Realty. And I tell you what, with the weather turning nice, this is a great time of year to be out shopping for a home, I tell you that. I'm Dave Larson here with my Storm Team partners and Cyclone Grades, Mr. Vintage Brent Big Clay Curvey, and the legend himself, Marcus Pfizer. Good evening, guys.
Good evening. Good evening. What is the weather getting better? 47?
Well,
Y'all
mid
like
50s.
talking to Marcus around this time of year. This is never fun. He just rubbed it in our face, but come time, it's 167 degrees out there, and we
Short sleeves, shorts.
Hey, we don't have snow, so I'm not complaining.
Yeah. Well, not today. It was here 3 days ago, whatever it was.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. So tonight we got a lot to touch on. We got some football news. We've got men's and women's basketball. We'll talk a little portal, and of course some quick sips and quick take topics. So guys, the last time we had a show was really to debrief and commiserate after the Cyclones lost in the NCAA tournament to Ole Miss. With the Final Four set for this weekend, how are your brackets looking, and who do you got to win this thing?
I got Florida to win it. I got Florida or Houston. Which
You don't do an or. This is one. You got to pick one, Marcus.
well, I mean, if you made more than one bracket, remember I said I made a couple of brackets on ESPN.
That's it.
So
That's it.
of the ones that I chose, I think the main one that I chose, I have Florida winning it.
Okay. Brent, how about you?
So I had to choose my home city school, for the sake of hoping we get one, keep it in the Big 12. So we shall see, man. We shall.
Marcus, like you, I've got two brackets. One, I think it's the Three Beards. I've got all four in the Final Four. Yay for me, but I still can't win the darn thing because apparently someone has more early round points than I do. And then I've got Auburn winning the one at work, and I'm sitting on like page 3 there, so I didn't do very well. Men's portal news. Deshaun Jackson has shared that he's entered the portal. Now, of course, all these guys that have said that they have entered still have a chance to come back, although those seats are starting to be filled very quickly by new portals, transfers that are coming into the program. Noyes Andrewsaitis, who I thought that was a bit of a surprise, has entered. Demarion Watson, who we all love and have enjoyed watching over the years, and his athleticism. JT Rock and Caden Fish is the other. Any surprises there, guys, on those that entered the portal? And did you have any feeling either way that maybe it was time or what their future may look like?
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, with the state that we're in and collegiate sports right now, you pretty much expect it. You see a lot of players leaving from what seems to be a great situation. Dedon Thomas Jr. from out here in Las Vegas. His dad, Dedon Thomas Sr., went to UNLV, and we call him DJ2. DJ played his freshman and sophomore year at UNLV, and he's transferring out. So you never know what's going to happen. It's always a surprise sometime when you see it happen. So, I mean, it's pretty much the pulse where we're at right now.
I think Audie said it best, man. The grass is always green where you water it. You know what I'm saying? But to that, it's the reality is you can never get too attached to any players at this point because NIL has changed. This transfer portal thing has changed everything. So, outside of the Taman leagues that are from Ames and are playing for Ames type of deal, it's hard to.
But Dedon Thomas Jr. is from UNLV. I mean, I've seen him. He came up with Keyshawn and the rest of them, and born and raised here. His dad played at the university, and he's transferring out. So you really, when I heard that news, I initially thought he was just probably trying to get more NIL money, but then Junior told me that he like committed, I think, to LSU, which is going to be a surprise. But
interesting.
It is what it is.
With you two as former players, and obviously the rules have changed quite a bit, I'm going to give you a thought. Would it be appropriate to, and I know the NCAA is a hot mess, this isn't going to happen anytime soon, and Congress isn't going to happen anytime soon either, but what if the rules were set where you have to give a commitment of 2 years before you can transfer? And the reason I say that is I'm looking at the list here. Now, Deshaun Jackson had transferred before, so I guess I can understand that. Still disappointing because he's a big guy that we could use, but he's basically leaving because of the cost and the NIL and the ability to make a lot of money. But kids like Andrewsaitis, JT Rock, Caden Fish, Andrewsaitis in particular, had only been here for one season. And I sort of feel like you got to give the kid a chance to develop a bit first. And then after 2 seasons, if you're not seeing the playing time that you want, that's a good time to transfer. JT Rock, Caden Fish, those are 2 guys who've been here for 2 seasons. They choose to transfer. I get it. Watson, I think it's been 3 years. I get it. But just 1 season, that's where I'm really struggling in all of this. What are your thoughts on that philosophy of you got to commit to 2 years?
Well, it all depends on what the commitment is, because for some players it is getting a better playing time, more playing time, better playing position. Some guys are getting more money. It's kind of like the free agency. If you are unrestricted free agent and is out there to get it, guys are pretty much going to go ahead and do that. So it's a fine line to determine, which way. I have some thoughts that, I kind of want to start looking into to try to change the dynamics of what's going on in the NCAA right now, kind of like, with Ed O'Bannon and a couple other guys did. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's a mess right now because of the NCAA. I think the NCAA caused a mess because this has been coming down the pipeline for a long time and they just ignored it. And then it came a lot faster than what they expected. And now everybody's starting to see and understand how much money was out there, how much money that they were making. And, it's just, to that point to where you really can't understand what is going to be 1 second to the next because now, the talent, which is the student athletes, they have majority of the leverage.
Absolutely.
What about you, Bryant? You've got Malachi, who's just starting his career in college.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I viewed it, and I think football and basketball are way different, right? I think exposure is different. You can only carry so many on a basketball team, but there's so many guys in football, so you have to be a guy to get paid in football. You know what I mean?
That's a valid point, especially if you're on the O line or D line. There's just a difference, right?
Right. Yeah. And there's levels to, playing and the type of guys that recruit through from the Big 12 and all of that stuff. But, with Malachi going to this isn't a real big money school. So I preach to him development. So it's all dependent on the kid, man. Situations are different. Marcus said, but there needs to be some sort of limitations to it. It's just like any other contract, you know what I mean? But what they really do with these guys, they're signing them for a year. Because I literally just went through it with Malachi. It's a year, like it's for this school year. So after that, they renew it. So, realistically, they're serving their obligation, and then after that, it's like, well, I don't like it. I just think it kind of hurts some of their stock for some of those kids that don't get any film and don't play to, put themselves in the pro. But then I might have to go down a level or, to a smaller school to put some numbers up and try to get back up at a bigger school. So
yeah,
that travel is different, but it's so unique now, man. They need to find some way around it. To protect themselves, but they're year-long contracts. So, you can't fault the kids. They're literally fulfilling their obligation. So, see what it's
I
like.
think if we had a contract, it'd have to almost be a 2-year, but by the school too, right? Because similarly, while the kids are leaving after a year, the coach could decide, I don't want you here after a year. And so that would increase the need for them to be really good with their recruiting efforts and know the type of guy that they want and to commit to that kid for 2 years.
I think the other side of that, the change in the coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say, what about changing coaching? Right, that's the other side of the coin where now I'm on a 2-year deal under Coach A, but then Coach A left to go to the NBA. So now I'm on Coach B. Now he doesn't know me. So now I got to be here for another year, and I waited another year eligibility. You know what I mean? Waiting for that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say
somebody's at your door there.
Yeah, I was about to say the exact same thing. When you think about how the coach like McNeese State had already signed his contract to go to NC State. You think about the kids. They play hard. Some of them could be going with them. Some can't be. So you never really know what's really going on. But if the coaches are able to do it, then I wouldn't fault the kids either.
Sure. Well, the Cyclones also picked up some players while several are looking to transfer out. Coming in is Blake Buchanan, a 6'11" guy from Virginia. So, Marcus, we know you already love him because you love your big guys. He was a top 100 recruit out of high school. Eric Mulder, who's actually from the Pella area, who's coming in from Purdue Fort Wayne. And then Mason Williams from Eastern Washington. That kid blossomed in a sophomore season at 13.9 points a game. So a little bit of scoring. I think there's been some forecasts that he may come into that Curtis Jones role, although those are awfully big shoes to fill And keep in mind that we've got some pretty dynamic athletes coming in Jamarian Bateman, guard from Milwaukee, who's a top 50 guy. And then Killian Torrey, who's from Brewster Academy, another 4-star top 100 kid. So we've got some studs coming in, and there's a bigger kid from Germany that is expected to be here this summer too. So we've got some our own recruiting class coming in that looks pretty good.
Yeah, hopefully he can come in and, pick up where these guys left off, and continue to make the team stronger. The way, I don't want to say the way we fizzled towards the end, it was just wasn't the end that I expected. Not even the loss to Ole Miss. I'm just talking about the last couple games before the end of the season. We just really seemed to begin to lose it and really couldn't find that stride that we had early on. I was looking forward to, us being possibly number one in the Big 12. I know Houston was tough, but I thought we had a tougher team than them this year than we had last year. But it just didn't work out that way.
Do you grade the season down a bit because of that high season when we hit that high water mark of number 2 in the nation and 14, 15-1? After that, really, we were a 500 team on the way out. You're right. The second half of the season did not end well. How would you score this season? If you're going to give it a scale A to F.
I would say overall, from what I expected, from how well we were playing, I would say maybe a B minus. I mean, it's not even the fact of being number 2, because I said all year long, I'm not even thinking about the ranking as long as we can keep it up. I just saw just a totally different style of play and everything that was going on. As a player, I didn't look at the rankings to see where we were ranked. I think I saw more of the rankings on social media and stuff like that when they were 4 and then 3 and then 2, hoping for Auburn or whoever to lose when they were number 1 to go to number 1. But that wasn't important to me. The important was, as I started to see the team was playing different and we weren't playing the same, that began to be a concern because it didn't seem like we were as strong as I would hope. And at any rate, I guess, as the season goes on and injuries happen and different things like that play a part, that could be a major factor in it, but we just didn't finish the way that I expected totally at all.
Yeah.
One player not coming back next year, and I think I had teased it in the last show, is Curtis Jones. The NCAA had made a ruling that those junior college years would not count with the Division I eligibility. So Mr. Jones put in a request, and it has since been denied. So he is not going to be on the team next year. However, Curtis and Keyshawn were invited to play in the 2025 Reese's College All-Star Game that's going to be held tomorrow afternoon at the Final Four in the Alamo Dome. Keyshawn is not going to play due to his injury, but it sounds like Curtis Jones will. So if you have a chance to view that, it's going to be on CBS Sports Network. Looks like at 3:30 for those that may want to watch. On the women's side, did you guys see Audie Crooks posting her return to the team?
No, I did.
So, the players, when they announce, I've enjoyed my time with the university, and after talking with my friends and family, I've decided to enter the transfer portal, yada, yada, yada. Well, hers was that sort of long-winded piece, and then at the bottom it said, "Stop asking, I'm staying, let's run it back," which I thought was hysterical. So Audie's announced that she's returning. Addie Brown has shared that she too is also staying. Lily Hansford, to date, and I'll be honest, I've not had a chance to be on Twitter too much today, but she appears to be the only Cyclone to announce that she has entered the portal after one season with the Cyclones. She really struggled from three-point land this season at just a 20-point clip. But incoming, and apparently she's a media star, I have not followed her. I do now, but Jada Williams, point guard out of Arizona. Do you realize she has over 600,000 followers on Instagram?
Oh wow.
Marcus, you have
Yeah.
like 5,000.
Yeah, my son literally texted me last night. He was like, "Whoa, that's crazy. Jada's coming to Iowa State." I was like, "Who is that?" But he was like, "You don't remember her out with Mikey Williams?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." So yeah, you pay attention to this Iowa State stuff too. Proud of you, man.
She is. So she's point guard. She'll come in as a junior. Then she's got 2 years left, but she's a scorer. She's a rebounder. She assists. Sounds like a dynamic personality. She was also a McDonald's All-American with Addie Brown. So she's a talented kid. And boy, it seems like Bill Fennelly continues to reload. And you know, I'm looking at the season for next season, the lineup. I don't know how he's going to start all these girls, but Addie, Ariana Jackson, Kenzie Hare will be back after suffering an early season injury. Kelsey Jones, who really came on strong in the second half of the year. We got Sydney Harris back for another season, plus Jada Williams. I mean, that's 7 right there. And then off the bench, we've got Elisa Williams and Lily Talaleo, and we got a couple guards and Ali Tanky, who saw a lot of time this year, and Reagan Wilson. And then they've got the number 2 player coming in from Tennessee. One of the recruits is point guard that should be really dynamic. And they've got a player that's coming in from Denmark that's a scorer. So this appears to be yet another fully loaded team for Coach Fennelly for next season.
Yeah, he always, have a knack for getting great talent. I think for them, they felt like they had kind of a down season as well. I know for him, he feels that way. So to bring in the talent, I'm sure he's going to find a way to put them together, and they're going to gel well and, have a pretty good season.
Well, sign me up for another round of season tickets. I think I'm heading back up there next year. Congratulations, by the way, to Ashley Jones. She signed a training camp contract with the Atlanta Dream in the WNBA. She had been playing, I think, last season over in Europe. She saw that first season after she graduated. She was drafted by the Dallas Wings and spent some time bouncing around between there, Phoenix, and Las Vegas. In fact, she has a championship ring with the Aces after they won that season. So hoping she can earn a roster spot with the Dream in Atlanta. Football.
Nice.
Spring practice started last week. The other day, I saw they've been doing a nice job at interviewing players and some of the coaches. And Brent, you'll probably like this one, but Coach Eli Rashid had talked about his goals of getting 3 deep by fall camp. He really talked a lot about Dominic Orange's leadership in becoming the man for the rest of the players and building up his NFL film. What can you explain to those of us that are listening and watching just the importance of having a guy like Dom Orange in the middle of that, wreaking havoc and causing problems?
Yeah, man, he was clearly a tremendous player. So happy to have him back. I really thought we were going to lose him to the draft this year. But, he's the heart of that D-line, and so to have a leader like that in your room too, that helps elevate the play up front. So it's good to see that they have him back. And, I think having a guy like that up front too allows for greater leadership across the board. So your whole front 7 is going to be solid now because they're moving that big engine up front, and how he goes, I think, the front 7 goes, and, we've all seen what he's capable of. So I'm excited to see, what's in store. I know they actually sent an email out, so I'm gonna go up to their last practice. They're having a lot of alumni out to check out a spring practice or something like that. So I'm looking forward to getting back to checking the fellas out, man, seeing them move around again.
I would love to sneak in as your +1 if you have that chance. Just let me know. Coach Rashid had also talked about some of the early enrollees that had that graduated early and started in the spring semester. Freshman Kamari Moore, Coach Rashida said he's added 15 pounds already, which is phenomenal. And now he's up to 325. And Coach Rashida had said he's been, quote, smacked around in the face a bit, but he's a big dude, and they're hoping that they can plug him in. Another freshman, Trey Verdon, who's Malik's brother, appears to be turning some heads and performing well in camp as well. And boy, again, you look at what you said, Brent, having those big guys up front that are pushing, that takes a lot of pressure off of the linebacking core that will come in. They'll have a lot more experience. I think we forget we were down to third and fourth string linebackers last year, and with a lot of those guys healthy coming in, and if you have a strong front line, that defense could really be good.
Yeah, I mean, I think he hit the nail on the head trying to get the 3 deep, because if you can rotate guys up front, that changes the entire game, because now the freshmen are tired. So long gone are the days where, we're getting 70, 80 snaps a game. Like back when I was playing, that was ridiculous. Kids are getting, 25, 30 snaps. And that's game changing, because now you feel a lot fresher, a little bit more pop. You go a little bit harder because you're not, taking as many reps. So I think that's why he's really on, creating that lineup that helps a lot. That changed.
Well, and you were also back there stripping balls and running it back for touchdowns, and had to turn around and go back in and play defense too.
Yeah. Little different, man. Little different times these days.
Yep. There's also a big freshman coming in from Yale that will be here in May that they're high on, but physicality appears to be a focus for the D line. So I think that is going to be fun to see. By the way, did you see Gene Smith? Was he athletic director when you were up there, Brent or Marcus?
He was for me. I don't think he was there for Brent. I think he left.
You left in 03, right?
Yeah.
You leaving? Something like that.
Maybe
might have been my first.
I think he maybe left after I left in 2000. Maybe because he went to Arizona State afterwards, didn't he?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So Gene Smith, I bring him up because he's being inducted into the Iowa State Athletics Hall of Fame this fall.
Nice.
Nice. Oh, man.
Around the NFL, Jake Hummel signs with the Ravens, joining TJ Tampa and Charlie Kolar. So if you're looking for an NFL team, the Ravens is probably it. Kenny Nwangu signed a 1-year agreement, or re-signed a 1-year contract with the Jets. We've talked about this before, but we're still waiting for Brock Purdy to sign with the 49ers. I hate seeing some of the things that are out there in social media about, well, just go ahead and trade him and let him sign with someone else, start over, draft a quarterback. I don't think we're going to see anything until after the draft in terms of signing Brock.
Well, that's going to make it worse on them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pulling that Jerry Jones approach.
That's it. Longer they wait. I mean, Brock's right. Don't need time. Like, pay that man. Don't shortchange the kid. So
what Jerry said, I'd rather wait and to get it right and pay a little more. I was like, man, stop it.
Yeah, he's been right all these years too, huh?
So
I don't think he's been right since we left.
Draft is April 27th at Lambeau Field. That should be fun to watch. Do you guys watch the UFL and the St. Louis Battlehawks?
No.
I peeped a little bit of it. Saw Harvey and Rose. Yeah. I saw Harvey and Rose. And actually, as soon as I cut it on, Harvey and Rose had combined for a tackle. I forgot.
Yeah, the Battlehawks are like the Cyclones. I mean, they've got Rocco's dad, right, as coach. They got Seneca Wallace as quarterback coach. You got Mike Rose. You've got Willie Harvey, both at linebacker. Hakeem Butler at receiver.
Yeah.
And Chase Allen is at tight end.
Oh, yeah. He's a tight end. Yeah.
Where are they out of?
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
I think they play in the Dome, don't they? In the old Edward Jones or whatever it's called down there.
That I don't know. That I don't know.
I think I might get down there this season to watch a game. They are a fun team to watch, and they're good. They rocked that first game. I think it was like 31-8 or something goofy like that. But they look really strong.
Yeah, they do.
Definitely one of the good teams in the UFL. All right, I want to take a quick timeout. I've got some notes I want to cover, including that Dennis Dodd article from it's probably now a month, 3 weeks ago, and then got some hot topics to talk through, including a little discussion about sausage.
Making great tasting bourbon requires the perfect combination of ingredients, conditions, and time. The longer it rests, the better it tastes. Revelton Distillery's new single barrel bourbon is made from 80% corn, sourced 100% from Iowa farmers. And unlike mass-produced bourbons, each barrel of Revelton's single barrel bourbon is unique, proofed on when it tastes best. As they like to say, it'll be ready when it's ready. And to ensure the highest standards of quality and flavor, owners Rob and Christy Taylor oversee the production and bottling. Every single barrel. Iowa born, Iowa aged, Iowa bottled. Try the new single barrel bourbon from Iowa's own Revelton Distillery. ReveltonDistillery.com. When energy meets precision, anything is possible.
I'm Carter Hawley, the Chief Energy Officer of the Iowa State Cyclones. I'm full of energy on and off the court, but nothing gives me more energy than helping families find their dream home. And that's where Green Beret Realty comes in. They're more than just realtors. They're a team dedicated to getting things right for you and your family, just like we get it right on the court. Sometimes it takes a team to get the call right. And when you're buying a home, you want a team that makes all the right calls. That is Green Beret Realty. And here's the best part. When you buy or sell a home through Dan at Green Beret Realty and mention this ad, he'll make a donation to the We Will Collective, helping student athletes like me thrive on and off the court.
Green Beret Realty, because getting the call right means everything.
All right, we're back. So here's how we do that. We go out on during the week or weekends, buy a house from Dan while the weather's nice. Then you come home and you enjoy your Revelton, right?
I don't think I'm gonna be buying a house in this in the snow areas anytime soon. They need to come out to Vegas. We're building all up on the side of the mountains, just on top of each other, just stacked and stacked.
Yeah, and what are your taxes like too?
Taxes not up there is worse. But the one thing that people complaining about, they complain about the coyotes and the mountain lions, and I'm like, what you expect? You're literally building up into the mountains. Where do mountain lions live? And we've had, like, in the last 3 years, we've had about 6 of them. You know, they just come on down and hop the fence, take dogs and cats and stuff like that. Well, they kill cats. They don't really eat the cats too much. They just kill them and leave them there. It was real bad, like last Christmas sometime. But
they only eat the fat cats.
No, they just kill the cats and just, I guess just torture them, whatever. And you know, I don't know if it's a cat to cat thing or whatever, but the dogs, they take them off.
All right, I want to talk. Dennis Dodd with CBS Sports had put out an article back in mid-March or so where he apparently the Big 12 was talking a bit, and this is really on the football side, but probably could do something on the basketball side in an attempt to try to get more visibility for the Big 12 in terms of the playoff. So the Big 12 would be split into 2 divisions. There'd be an East and a West. The top seed in one would play the second seed in the other side, and vice versa. So 1 versus 2, and then 1 versus 2. Then obviously the winners would play in a championship game, again with the hope of getting multiple bids into the college football playoff. There would be, you play everybody in your side of the bracket in your division, and then 2 crossover games with the other side. I think that puts question maybe in the Iowa game for us, if that would continue, because essentially you're looking at a 9-game conference schedule, and it'd be a tough conference schedule. So in the East, which is where we would sit, it would be Baylor, Iowa State, Kansas State, UCF, Cincinnati, Oklahoma State, and West Virginia. In the West, it'd be those Western schools: Arizona, Arizona State, BYU, Utah, Texas Tech, Colorado, TCU, and Houston. Thoughts on that concept? Could you see it working? Brent, you played in an era where there was a North and the South. Am I correct on that?
Mm-hmm.
So this is somewhat fresh for, you're familiar with that concept of having the 2 divisions. And, you know, there were some seasons where, and I don't want to say the schedule was easier, but there were seasons where you didn't have to play Texas and Oklahoma. And then there were seasons where you played both Texas and Oklahoma, which the irony is we've gotten to the level now where you didn't mind playing. You actually look forward to playing Texas and Oklahoma because we were beating Texas and Oklahoma by the time that they left the Big 12.
Yeah.
So I don't think any team scares me in this new alignment in our new conference. I think it's almost appealing to look at the East and go, I could see us winning, at least being the top 2 every single season.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I was actually going to bring that up too, the whole North and South thing, but I think it does make sense. These conferences are getting so big now, absorbing the Pac-12, right? So I think breaking them out, man, because that's it's 16 teams right now. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So yeah, 16 teams in the conference. So I think, you know, splitting it up makes a lot of sense. That would supposedly be on our side. I think we'd have a chance to consistently stay atop the conference and then compete in that Big 12 championship game year in, year out. I mean, I like the idea of it. Any sort of structure, man, at this point with how this whole thing is, I think would be great for the guys. But I like the idea of splitting the conference in half.
Yeah, it does. It does make. You said you want to make the season seem like one was easier than the other, but sometimes it does. I mean, because if you playing one game, you know, on the road versus at home, and that's only one time you see that team for that year, you know, it is really going to make a difference. Like I said, I never won in Oklahoma State, which was, you know, a hard team to beat. I played there once, but beat them twice at home and lost them in Oklahoma. So it does play, you know, a key role to running into, you know, like a Texas or Oklahoma or, you know, those type teams or whatever on the road versus at home.
Yeah. We play, I think when I was playing, Texas and Oklahoma were a part of the South that we would have.
Mm-hmm.
And then I offset that with Baylor and Texas Tech maybe. If I'm not mistaken, but
A&M was it?
Oh, A&M. Yeah, you're right. Yep. It was A&M. Yeah, so I remember kind of flip-flopping, but we'd always have Texas and Oklahoma. Those are two. Obviously, back then it was a little different. So we're like, well, you know, it's going to be 2 tough ones, and you know, we'll get one of those one year, and the next year we're there. But you know, those were the days when we, you know, stayed on kind of our side of the conference. We did a whole lot better. I'll just say that in the North. So we can't, Idaho, you know what I'm saying? Those school, K-State, we had a lot better faring than we did when Texas and OU was in our conference. So.
Well, and remember last season it was sort of a cluster at the top between Arizona State, Iowa State, BYU, and Colorado in this alignment. Now, obviously the schedule would have looked different, but there's only 2 spots on that West. It can't, between Arizona State, BYU, and Colorado, only 2 of those would have continued on. And I think if I remember right, I have to go back and read the article, that those top 2 teams would play the other top 2 teams, and then they would reshuffle the bottom 6 from a scheduling perspective to be able to continue the season for them, so they could each have another game, I think. Interesting concept nonetheless.
Yeah, they got enough money to do the travel.
All right, let's talk quick sips and quick takes here. I had teased this a little bit before, but wanted to see if you guys have seen this. So we've heard about the 1858 vodka, and of course the Ames Lager, and the We Will Pizza, which is absolutely fabulous. Now the We Will Collective has tweeted out this photo of We Will sausage. I have to say, this was on April 1st. I gotta believe this is for real, right?
I mean, someone went through a lot of work to do that for April's Fools, Joe.
Yeah, I see it. I see it as being a real thing. This is Iowa, man, and there's a ton of meat lockers, so it makes total sense to me. You know what I mean? But yeah, it makes total sense. I mean, that's a fairway buy, IV buy all day long. They'll keep that stuff on. Well, they're not going to keep it on the shelves.
Well, a note to Brent Bloom with We Will Collective. If you're selling this, I'm buying it. And it sounds like you are too, Brent.
I'm not a meat stick guy, but yeah, no, to Easter. To Easter home, man. Hey, nothing wrong with it. It looks, it looks great. It looks great. Not my thing.
All right. I guess wrong then. Brent all of a sudden has the giggles over there. I'm going to have to go back and re-listen to this. I feel like I may have said something inappropriate. And, Marcus is laughing. I'm sorry, Mom. So another quick take. My son is participating in a polar plunge, which feels like it's cheating because it's April when he's doing it. I think it's tomorrow. And temperatures in central Iowa, I think, are going to be in the 50s. I've seen people do polar plunges. Typically, there's ice on a lake somewhere, and they're participating. Nonetheless, he's doing it to raise funds for St. Jude's Hospital. So I'm going to applaud him for it, and all of the other guys that are participating. Have either one of you ever participated in a polar plunge? And if not, would you ever do it?
I
did the is it the ACL? What was it? The ACLS?
ALS
forgot
challenge.
what we had.
The bucket challenge.
The bucket challenge. I did that, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm cool." But so it was one of those you pass it to your teammates, and I nominate this guy and all of that. So we did that. But yeah, that polar plunge is quite a bit. So I'll leave it to the fellas there.
So you're a no.
Jump over into it, like literally just plunge, or you get in?
Well, typically a polar plunge,
right.
You're standing on the ice. They cut a big opening, and you jump in the lake or pond or whatever it is. Now, I don't know what they're doing, if they're jumping into a dumpster filled with water or not. I don't know, but again, it's April 4th, and it's 55 degrees.
I mean, tell him to just go drive a couple hours north, though. He hits Minnesota. There'll be a lot of lakes up there with some ice on them this time of year. And just start the thought.
Brent or Marcus, are you doing something like this?
That's intriguing. For a great cause and stuff like that, I probably would be foolish enough to do it once. although I know it's like I told you guys earlier, it's gotten warmer here, but still the ground is still pretty much cold where the pool is at. So it's probably about 10 to 15 degrees colder than what it is outside. And I've been getting into the pool, for a couple of weeks now. So when it's really, really been cold, once you get inside, your body get acclimated to it. But that's nothing like a polar plunge. And the way I don't just jump into the pool, like I literally put my legs in there and I walk up down the side, and as it just gets higher, I sit there, then I put my arms down into it, and then I'm cool. That polar plunge is kind of different. Maybe I'll go out there and jump into the pool and see, and then report back. If that's crazy, it's probably going to be definitely not.
Yeah, Mark's going to throw his one ice cube in there and go, it's always amazing when people at work or friends, spring break, they go to Colorado to ski. I'm just not a cold person. I'm not going to go from the cold to another cold environment. I don't do that.
Nah, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not a cold
Got to
guy.
be a little warm. Yeah, that's why it's called spring break. You don't want a snow break. Like, you got to get out of here, man. Head south. See some water.
I am not a cold guy.
All right. And then finally, did you guys see the announcement by Coastal Carolina football?
No.
Mm-mm.
So they announced on social media, I think it was a Monday, so this is before April Fool's, that they are providing free concessions to all of their football fans for every home game this fall. Free. Everything free.
Interesting. That's a lot of incentive.
I looked it up, and the stadium capacity is 21,000. They average about 17,100 or so pretty consistently, which is about 81% capacity. So if you assume everyone spends $20 at that capacity, it's roughly $2 million. At full capacity, it's $2.5 million. And let's say that spend becomes $30 per person. Now you're at $3 million, and at full capacity, $3.7 million. How much are you guys eating if you can get into Jack Trice and Jamie offers you the same deal?
Well, see, that's the thing. Is everybody going to have the ability to eat? Number one,
no limitations. Absolutely.
Number two, like the lines are going to be so long. Are people going to wait around? Are they going to do that? Like I saw that on TV, and I thought it was April Fool's joke too. I mean, I guess we'll see how it works out. I remember the last time something like that happened is when BMW was doing the full maintenance on their vehicles, the brakes and everything like that. That lasted about 6 months because the brake job. We had an X5 at the time. The brake job on the BMW, $7,000-8,000. It was like, nah, we're gonna get away from that one. And so we're gonna see with this concession.
So is this something your dealership was doing?
No. This is before I stopped playing. But that was one of the things that was intriguing, that BMW was offering full maintenance, like oil change, brake. Brakes are never within the maintenance package that you can, get in finance and all of that. And that was like in 2012, 2013. And then literally before the end of the year, they scrapped that. So we're going to see before the end of the season, they're going to scrap that.
Well, I'll be curious. Surely you make it up in higher ticket prices, though, right? I mean, you're talking a potential $3.7 million deficit if everyone purchases $30 worth every game.
Yes.
They said it's about $250 a game is typically what the concessions generate. So you can get about 4 items each visit, but you got to scan an app. I mean, the reality is you're there watching the games. You can't beer and alcohol are part of it. So those are different items you have to pay for. But I mean, how many hot dogs and all of that are you gonna eat?
Right.
You're probably, like Marcus said, with the lines being that long because it's free. Once you get up to that for that first round of 4, it'll probably be tough for you to get back out there and grab your next 4 items. You know what I'm saying? And finish them before the game is over.
Oh yeah, you're bringing all your kids coming up saying you're standing in line with me, and here, take 4 hot dogs, you take 4 drinks, you take 4 beers or chicken wings or whatever.
One and done. That's kind of cool. That's got to be school specific though, because if they have vendors like Jack Trice does, those vendors they couldn't stand to lose that type of money. That's a lot of money to lose.
That is a lot of money. Same time, aren't you making things up well in advance and just setting it out on display? Say, here, just take it. I mean, there's no sense in getting too many vendors or carnies to work it. Just leave it all out and let people take it.
I make business decisions about that all the time. First thing, how long is that line? Is the line long? I'm not moving.
Not doing it. That's it. That's it.
Well, I almost want to go to their first home game just to see what happens. That could be kind of fun. Well, and it's small enough seating. We're talking a third of the capacity as Jack Trice. At first I wondered, well, okay, how bad is the fan base? Do you not have anybody coming that you need to draw in all these people? I don't understand when you already have 81% capacity, why you're giving away something. That seems a little counterintuitive. So I'm curious the reasoning behind it and what that's going to do for attendance. Surely they're going to have 100% now.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, they're only giving away easy stuff. They're still making you pay for some stuff though. So the beers and alcohol, you got to think about it. If I'll give up a couple hot dogs for what's the beers, like $10 for maybe you go like $10 beer to $20 beer. I mean, that'll at least feed those guys.
Offset.
All right, guys. So we're planning to have another show next week, but rather going on the typical summer hiatus. I think we're looking at a bi-weekly schedule. So for those of you who are watching or listening, we will be back next week and then go every other week thereafter. The shows may look a little bit different. We may have some guests on. Really want to look at some different focus type of pods. I know we've talked over the years that maybe we have just sessions on different stories that you guys have of games that you remember, of certain incidents that have happened. Maybe we call it Summer Story Series or something like that. But looking forward to that. So a little bit of a change up here in the next couple of weeks. And I know you guys have some upcoming news that I'm not sure if it's been released yet or if Chris Shipley's going to announce that. So we'll hold off and let him do that. But I'm really excited for you guys. Sounds like a lot of fun. Anything else that I missed that we wanted to touch on tonight before we let everyone go?
No, hopefully I'm going to talk to you guys when we get off here. Hopefully what we talk about is something we can share in the future if it works out. Like I said, the whole thing about the NCAA that I'm thinking about, trying to go at them and see if we can challenge a few things. So I know Ed O'Bannon lives here in Las Vegas. I hadn't seen him in a couple of years, so I'm going to see if I can reach out to him and get some more information from him.
I'm writing this down right now. And I think I also had a note that you're going to talk about the time that you hit your shoulder on the rim that the rest of us are shaking our heads at.
Yeah, that was
the shoulder.
It was in them early 20s. Early 20s. Man, I don't think I can even grab the rim no more. It ain't the jumping I'm worried about. It's the coming down.
The landing, that's always it.
That's the landing. You put that what is it? The LS4 into that vehicle that come out of Chevy. Don't put no Brembo brakes on it. Yeah, one way or the other, you're gonna be in trouble.
It's something only the rest of us could dream about, Marcus.
Oh man,
that's a while ago. Maybe one day. Again.
All right, so there's that we're going to talk about, and who knows?
Birthday or
Maybe
something.
what's that?
I said Marcus got to do a dunk for his birthday or something.
Shit.
He's like,
I'll shoot a 3.
I'm sure we'll have some training camp experiences as you guys have been through, and just stories around the locker room I want to hear. Heck, maybe we talk a little bit about our favorite shows and movies and some of that kind of thing, and give a little bit more insight into your lives. And Brent, you're always available there at Coach's Kolaches, so I would encourage everyone to stop in there. You got any meat or smoke specials coming up?
oh man, we'll be smoking every other week. Really this month. So I did the first one this past weekend, but we'll pop back out for Easter weekend. So I'll be smoking some meats and doing some meats by the pound then. But in May we'll be ramping up, doing it more frequently, man. So we'll probably get to every weekend. Keep this baby moving.
And those are pretty popular. You got to put in an advance notice or order on those, correct?
Yes, more so for me. So I'm not, over smoking or under smoking. You know what I mean? Because one thing I hate to do is run out, especially when it comes, barbecue stuff. But planning ahead, man. Proper preparation. That's
We'll
it.
just get those We Will sausage sticks and hand those out then.
Yeah. Put them in the cooler right up front. We'll make that work. Why not?
All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining us for another episode of In the Side of the Storm. Again, it's just a privilege to be here with you fellas. And please, again, remember our sponsors who've been so good to us. Again, Revelton Distilling and Green Beret Realty. And, of course, our studio sponsor, Andrew Downs and AKC Marketing. So good night, everyone. And we'll see you on our next episode next week. Go Cyclones.
There's a cyclone brewing on the outskirts tonight. Jack Tribe shakes when the scene takes flight. Hilton's rocking, hear the magic call. We rise together, we'll never fall. There's a cyclone brewing on the outskirts tonight. Jack Tribe shakes when the team takes flight. Hilton's rocking, hear the magic call. We rise together, we'll never fall. CYCLONES, Cyclone Nation, we're the best. CYCLONES.